Are we live? We are live. We are fantastically live. And what am I missing? Oh, my crown. See? Ah, here we go. Fantastically speaking, I am crowning myself here. Welcome to the Lonely Poets Poetry Show. I am late. I know that. Uh, we are going to start with something which we haven't used because I'm sitting in a position from where I cannot really move much. But that's okay. I can adjust that. Um, I believe this is going. I'm going to show you. Once I settle myself, I don't want to kick everything down because I have the totem cam. The totem cam will actually show you. Whenever I want to show you the totem, I will actually transition to that. There you go. We have the totem cam. So then what I do is, okay, I will push the totem. Let's see. There we go. Ooh, totem is kind of dancing around. Come on, totem. Go in. Go in. Go in. Ah, keyboard. Go, 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 go. Back off. See? That happens. That always happens. We have a new animation. So, what are we going to talk about? This is not a simple poem, though. It is a very complicated poem. It has its own. It took a life of its own. But before we go into all that, let me tell you, there is a new poem in lonelypoet.com. I am not going to talk about that poem today. Probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I may give it like a couple of days. It is still in promotion. So I'm not going to bring that poem out here as is. Well, maybe I should, but I can do whatever I want to do. I took my sweet time today. Early in the morning, I slept because I know all the others are, pretty much walked off because today is Tuesday. It's an active day. And I also was thinking of, having some calls in the morning. I did some things and then I slept. I felt really down. So I went and slept and woke up. Once I woke up, I'm good. I went cooked my food and everything, after that, I was here by about 3. Then I kind of worked through this poem, the Burning Pages. That's a new poem. If you look in lonelypoet.com, you can see the poem. Or, from Lonely Poet page, you can get the link to directly go to lonelypoet.com. But go to lonelypoet.com, you will see it. Make sure you read the blog too. In the same way, I gave as much as vagary in the blog as possible, which only she can understand. This poem again is about little boss, and little boss rules everything. The ruler of my life. So let us. Let us come to all that. Before we jump into our current show, which I have a block of 1 hour, but I don't know how many of you guys are going to stay. But that is a lot of people. On a Tuesday evening. My goodness, working from home got a different meaning here. That is a significant amount of people sitting in there. I never expected this many people to be there. So I am live. I think the other group also poured into it. Before we started. Uh, Very nice to see most of you guys. I am pleased that all of you guys are here. What are we going to talk about? Basically, general stuff. I'm not going to look into the chat because I cannot follow 4,600 people, simultaneously typing anything. I don't know how all these, people from all the, Dabba sites and all, how do they function? You know what I mean? These, long time back when I was a programmer, I may have to give you a brief history about that. It's not a very pleasant time I had. Somebody approached me online, said, okay, can you do a programming for Adobe? You know what is Adobe? No, the Adobe, not the Photoshop. It's actually the Flash player, using a Flash player. What they wanted was, okay, it was a very, it was my ignorance and I was not even knowing that it is possible. They said they want to use a credit card, attachment into it. That means um, somebody can build through the chat. I mean, video. When they show up, they can buy it, the video, things like that. This is what has been informed me. But these guys are very tricky. I said, yeah. What is your offer? At that time, there is no freelancer, nothing. It was in 2004 time, and they gave me a very nice. Oh, okay. Before we do this, before we go ahead, let me quickly check something. I don't want to make myself fun of myself. Uh, ooh, is there any audio in YouTube? I don't see myself there. Oh, there it is. Uh, there it is. I think you guys heard it. So yeah, there is audio. There is audio because I don't want it to get muted or something like that. So in when the story or the fact that happened was, I said this is very easy. I mean, I can easily do this because Adobe was coming out with their Flash Player or flashy things, like video chat and other thing at that time. So I didn't even know that there is a video chat. Is somebody doing that? Then I went into the software. I made that in such a way that people can actually watch a video. When they are watching the video, they can buy that video. This is what I've been informed. Then I said, okay, yeah, the programs, everything is ready. The figure they gave me was $35,000. I mean, this is not a simple amount of money for about 3 weeks of work. I didn't even spend 3 weeks. It's like 2 weeks of work. And I said, okay, I need to test this. I need a server, where I can test this. Do you have the server ready? I said, yeah, we have the server ready. They gave me the server, and I just went and they actually gave me the IP address of the server, and then I went there. I loaded the things in there, started testing, started running the test. So I have the test area where I'm testing, and I tested things. We've shown them, they were watching this the test, and they used it. They were very happy about it, and they said, okay, we need to attach it to our production. And I said, where is the production? You don't want to know where the production. So when I went there, it is an absolute porn site, and I was like, really? You guys said somebody buying videos and other things. So this is what they do. They do things, and people can actually charge. They can charge credit card in there. And I was like, what did I just do? and I was like, wow. I was like, this is a great. Then I remember that's the time when things started clicking in my head. That, my goodness, I was actually not paying attention because they were telling, a video, Adobe, and all those things, chat. And it's like in between chatting, I didn't really pay attention to it. And I took the money, and I need to. I mean, there is nothing because I don't have any money at that time. So I took the money, and then I made some investments with the money and all. Everything got wiped out. That's a karma comes and kicks your ass. Everything got wiped out in the 2008 crash. Nothing. All of the was completely gone. I mean, I was in debt after the 2008 crash. I was by 2010. By the time I came to Milwaukee, I was I borrowed money to actually come here. So imagine that, I lost, from that kind of a richness of, working for 3 weeks and making 35,000 and, increasing that to, 24. That I can easily say. I had like nearly $700,000, $800,000 in my pocket. And karma hit me. I said, okay, when it's gone, it's gone. So let's do, what do we do now? There we go. Let's, the dancing totem. The totem cam. Come on, totem. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't lose your steam. Don't lose your steam. See, he made it. He made it. He made it. Oh, no, he fell back. There are cables, that's why headset, cables are there. He kind of hit that and fell down. So there you go. Totem, you are a total failure. So So those kind of things happened. That was in 2004, 2005 time, and it was like, it was, absolutely crazy. So I know how these weird websites work. I mean, oh my God. And there are a group of people I know who works there. Um, they used to come to my, most of them don't speak English. When I was in Blog TV, I may have to repeat that. I know. When I was there, people used to come into my room, and they talked to me. I was like, what they wanted was okay to learn English, and I was like, oh, and you can achieve that. I was like one of the only poets there, or people deal with literature. So they come and chat with me, and thinking that it can improve their English. Well, actually, I was like not paying much attention to them at all. Uh, then I understood. I said, okay, one of the person who came there, told me that I learned significant amount of English from you. I said, me from this accent? He said, like, yeah, accent is not the problem. I was able to to do the chat and all those things. I said, okay, where can I meet you? Where can I see you? Can you turn on your cameras? He's like, no, not right now. But you can come and meet me in this site. And me and four of my friends, from Blog TV, we went to that place and we went there. And, when I saw her, wow. Yeah, and I was like, this is a stunning beauty. She was from Ukraine. And she said, "Don't fall in love with me." Her accent was like, "Don't fall in love with me. I am, bad character." This is the way she is speaking. And I was like, okay, and who cares about character here? And that's why my buddy was always instantly saying, I don't care about character. I care, who you are good. I said, you might want to really put on some clothes because, she was pretty much, having almost nothing, So I think maybe at this point of time, you might want to put on a shirt or something like that, so that we can try to communicate with you instead of, do something else. Well, she didn't ask for money or anything like that. Very, very, then the next time, and that's the best part, we only spent like about 3-4 minutes there, then we left. And the next time she came to my room, everybody was like, welcome. Then they know, okay, oh yeah, that was like, no, 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 we are not that kind of people, and that's why my friend said, dude, just co-host her. Just by seeing her little picture on the side, there will be like 1,000 people coming into your room. I said, no, no, I don't want that visitors. It was, Block TV was one of the fun, I really miss that. One of the funniest places in the world. I can go anytime and start doing a show. Well, pretty much like, not here. I mean, in your side, I cannot say a lot of things. But, in YouTube, I can say whatever I want. It doesn't matter. But, in blog, it was very nice. There's a set of people that are live online, 24/7. I mean, I went to other sites, after it all fell apart. I mean, they sold it to younow.com. Even YouNow, I tried, when I went there, they were like little kids sitting there, and I was like, Jew, we may end up getting called creepy, pedophiles or something like that, because there's like 10, 12-year-old girls and boys, sitting and singing, and I was like, what am I supposed to do in between all this? So yeah, then it didn't really work out. Then we all went to Warn Live. I don't know how you even spell it. VAUGN Born Live. They were gamers. Twitch gaming site. Then I think I still have the accounts there. Then Ivy Log started, and that was much more concentrated by, for this group of people. So it was a lot of fun. Even at that time, 2013, everything ended. So Zanga.com went out. This thing went out. Afterwards, we all missed. I myself tried to start a video log site, but unfortunately, I cannot say unfortunately because it's expensive. I better have my own server. If I'm going to actually go ahead and run it, when I looked at the overhead and cost of increase, that can come, when we started projecting it, yeah, down the road in about a year to 2 years, we can run that, and then we have to drop it because the growth that can happen on that, then we need to be very hyper commercialized. Uh, I don't think I even the beginning itself, I don't, I had that kind of resources to, from money to time to, in the right place. I'm in Milwaukee, and I know this is not a place where you can sit and start things like that. You should be in California or somewhere like New York or, something like that, where I need these infrastructures, I need access to those infrastructure. Like right now, I'm actually, to put one server in a place, I'm looking at different options, and there are not much. So that's where it all comes down to. We can do this, but it takes time and it takes money, and these two things are not that easy to come by. If I have a lot of money, then I can invest that and I can actually assign people. Otherwise, if I don't, as I don't have a lot of money, then I have to make sure that I spend some time. When I'm spending some time on it, make sure I have to make, give that, you know, cost by benefit analysis. I have to, when I do that, it just doesn't make any sense, working on that because the returns are not that high, so that's one of the reason. So this is something which I needed to tell you because many people ask me, why don't you start your own complete there. It is in the process. There are things we need to do, but it will take time. It's not a simple task. I mean, it takes significant amount of effort. If I need to, just for me, I will not add anybody else. I will not allow it. I even was asking somebody if I can get a script where I can exclusively run that server, and only when it is necessary, to run the server. That means the site will actually sit in another site. I'm saying, so, in another site means, okay, it will be like lonelypod.org, where I'm going to come live. It will be there, but the video part is only going to be running from my server, and that we will put just that there. And the chat probably will run it in that server, in the other server. So we need to merge it together because people can come and chat all the time, but the live shows, only happens when I turn on the server or to connect to the network. It is something which people said, oh yeah, it is possible, but do you really want to do that, or make it a full-fledged one? So what I said, like, where is the time and effort? Is it worth doing it? It is, even now I don't have much viewers. Then I have to promote it. To promote it, you may have to have money and connections. It's a, even on Facebook. When I actually promote my post, I don't spend a lot of money. Why Facebook can afford me to promote like that is because they have massive amount of people. That is the question that came up. How do we understand that? What is the way they actually make this significant amount of money if the cost is so less? Let me give you an idea. Okay, Facebook got about what 3 billion, nearly 3 billion, 2.5 billion people accessing it. From that, I think they have people like me who actually spends very little money to promote, like $1 for a post for a day. They have at least about that is last time, this was like 2 years back. Somebody from Facebook told me about 37, 38 million people who does that. They only spend $1 for a post. But imagine that average 37 million people a day. That means $37 million are coming every day. That is a big income stream. So they can afford to actually, promote these things even for $1. Then, there are commercial people who come and actually promote their, products there. So that is another set of people. So that auction goes on. It's like an auction like thing. The highest bidder get the highest amount of time. So if I'm going to actually promote my post in New York City, I'm going to take that demographic. When I actually say spend only $1, it doesn't show up on anybody because it will be over in a matter of seconds. You understand? Because there are significant 89 million users simultaneously in there. You cannot immediately show it to everybody's site because there are how many people will show up, and there are plenty of people to show up. And I tried that in London. We when we I was trying to promote something in London, I needed to pay at that time. In 2000, that's what I'm thinking, 2017. Yeah, 2017. $390 or something like that I spent in a single day. But that we needed to promote it there. But there was benefit for us to actually coming from because of that. So those kind of things happens. So yeah, that's how you promote it. That's a way it works for them. And so you promote it for $1, and then you can add money to it. You start with that $1, then you can see all the data connecting to that coming out. Look at that and see whether you should make changes into the demographics itself, as well as change the ad, change the video, or the images that are going associated with your ad. You can make all those sorts of change. So um Totem. Let's start from the edge. Okay. Oh, let's see how far it goes. But I think it is going closer and closer to that writing table. Okay. The thing that this thing that is sitting here, I think my hand is very big. You can see it very close. Because when I come very close, this is iPhone. So you can see it's like looking through a microscope. uh, these things, it is. I bought it from Amazon. It is for painters. I use it for my writing. I just keep it like that so that I have raised it, thing instead of, writing on a flat place. So yeah, it is convenient for me. May not work for everybody. So that's where things are. Coming back. Poem. I'm going to get into the poem, and let's see whether we can end it in half an hour or something like that, so that some people can go and sleep. I okay. For general crowd out in YouTube and any other place, there is another place. I mean, that's secret. That's job secret. Okay, nothing sexual. In the middle of the night, nothing sexual. Okay, that site has something very very good, and you need to really really. Once we are all ready to actually expose that site, we will do that. But this is just got nothing to do with poem or anything like that. In general, people come and do, and we are testing things. Generally, people come and do and have chat, and it's like blog TV, but it's not there. It's not that popular. Now, what was I saying? Okay, generally, when I'm actually going into a poem here at this point, trying to recollect what it is. Um, this poem, is not a very simple poem. It is a little more complicated than a normal crowd and a normal situation. I mean, the situation itself, um, there was a time when I was just wearing morning till evening, evening till morning. I have like two Green Bay Packers green hooded jacket. I mean, this thing hoodies. So especially during winter, I wear this. Then I have another, hoodie, the King in the North. That one is there. Then a fourth one, which is an older one, even that I wear. So all of them are green. That's where I'm actually not putting myself in there, but I is pretty much coming like into that. The green hooded scholar. I'm calling myself a scholar. Scholarly things. Uh, where do we go from this? Okay, the name of the poem was written long time back, and I didn't write anything else on that sheet. Then, when I reached the den in the night, I saw the page with just the title. I write under it a silly love song. Then I remembered some words I read earlier. The idea hit me almost instantaneously about the waiting of a lover to hear from the one the lover loves. Um, Aha, that was a hard try to avoid speaking the gender. But yeah, it applies to both me and the one I love. And those thoughts brought the images of me walking around in the cold. The rest of the poem came out from there. Enjoy the poem. This poem is for you, little boss. So I think I said, pretty much. I walk around in this hoodie, this winter, way early in the winter. It was not a simple thing, winter. We had December was very good. Then January pretty much went pretty good. Then things started kaboof. Personally, professionally, and then the whole socially, everything went out. We are in social distancing now. So, said all that, we have, so what I am saying basically is, um, missing a person. When you miss a person, there is a lot of thoughts that comes into your mind about what is going on with that person. Is that person well? The welfare about that person. Whether it is, so it goes mutual. And then that is the next thought that comes up. That's why I kind of went gender neutral there. So it goes mutual. And then that is the next thought that comes up. That's why I kind of went gender neutral there, saying that is this a mutual thought? Is that person thinking in the same way like I'm thinking? So all these things need to be put into perspective when you miss a person. That's when you really say, oh yeah, I really miss her. I really don't want to lose her. Then you will, many people will do a lot of things. They get drunk and drugged, and and I'm going to say something very tragic too, that happened. Briefly I will tell, because I don't know whether I can reveal a whole lot of info about names and all. It was a it is terrible double tragedy. I have a friend who studied with me from, I think, the middle school. Yeah, middle school. We were together, and we used to play cricket. I used to be the bowler, and he used to be the batsman. Very nice, person. He don't even use a bad word. So he, we are in touch through Facebook. Last time I went there, I couldn't meet him. Even, I mean, last time is in 2018 when I went there, I couldn't meet him. The communication really didn't work. But the thing is, yesterday I got the WhatsApp message saying that his brother, he have an older brother. His older brother is older than my oldest brother. So 64 years old. That man passed away. I was shocked. I sent him a message. And he didn't respond to anything. What I understood, when somebody's brother passed away, how can he respond? Later in the evening, I am getting another message from my brother saying that this is not a simple death. I was like, what do you mean? It looks like, his, my friend's brother's son, who was an absolute drunkard, didn't have any money, came and started asking his dad money. He's older. I mean, the oldest son. That's the thing. And had a fight with his dad. Pushed his dad. He fell down and hit his head down, and he was seriously injured. Took him and put him directly inside the living room, and he left. This man lying there, he passed away. And for 2 3 days, nobody was there, because this is the guy who should be taking care of him. Nobody was there, and neighbors started smelling, and they called the cops, and they came, and now the other guy also got arrested, and the neighbor, one of the other neighbors, son, also got arrested because he helped him to lift him up and put him in there. It is a terrible thing. Drinking actually got him into that. So those who are alcohol, have alcoholism problem. Be careful out there. You don't know where it is going to lead. That's one of the reasons why I don't drink alcohol. When I was young, I never touched alcohol, because first of all, I'm a Muslim. Second, for religiously we don't drink alcohol. But I know a lot of my Muslim friends who drinks alcohol. and they all, when they actually drink, they end up in serious troubles. One reason I wanted was I sit there and enjoy. I just sit there and enjoy these guys going up and down and doing crazy things. That's one thing that stopped me. I never drank. I never tried touched it. But even after coming to the United States, and if I drink alcohol, if I buy a big, bottle of whiskey and start drinking, nobody is going to even know about this. Who's going to know? Because absolutely no zero people can know. And even many of my friends who drinks, they may not have any problem in me drinking. So I never touched it, because the reason is what it can do to you. It will, completely change your brain. It will change your attitude. Most of the crimes and most of the situation that can go bad, it starts with this alcohol. Now I'm going to come back to that. Many people in these kind of situations, where you miss a person, their first resource is to drink alcohol and take your mind away from that person. But eventually, you will not be able to take the mind away. You'll end up only drinking and drinking and more drinking, and you still will get a different image of that person coming to you, especially when you are in a relationship. So please, 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 anybody who is having a bad situation with a relationship, do not drink. Please do not drink, and you don't act drinking, because it is not going to help you in the long run, in the short run, every run. It is not going to help you. It is going to actually destroy you. Like what happened to my friend's son. That guy ended up killing his own father. How and what happened to the rest of the family? The rest of the family is now completely stunned. They cannot even speak one word. How are we going to speak even one word when this happens? Uh, it's a double tragedy. They lost, that oldest brother and his son. His oldest son. So these are cluster families. So they are not like in United States where they scatter all over. They may work in different places, but they are bound together. This is a specific sect of Hindus. So I know them. They are very very nice people. I know all of them very well. His father was my teacher. So and it's a very very tragic situation, and that tragic situation I have seen in many many relationship issues. Where men getting drunk and acting weird, and many even take guns and start shooting people. And if you look at that, you remember in Canada there was a mass shooting. Where How did it start? He started with this guy going and talking to his girlfriend, and I think it was his wife or girlfriend, I think. And that really went bad, and from there he lost it. I don't know whether he was drunk or drugged or whatever that happened. He completely lost it, and he took all these guns and started shooting people. 15 or 16 people died. Even if one person gets injured, that is bad. So that's why I'm saying, especially when you come to a situation where things are, many times all it may take is sit with that person and talk to them. When you feel bad about, I don't feel bad about anything. That's something which I need to really come back and tell you, at the end of this, because. I had a bad situation I faced 3 years back. If I were an alcoholic, or if I were a drug addict, I would have been acting weird and taking drugs and or alcohol. I may even go to where my little boss works and maybe yell at her or something like that. I have seen that happening in real life. In my life, I have seen that happening. I didn't do it, but I have seen that happening with other people. Women who work with me, their husbands coming, and there was a time. One of the her name was Catherine, no, Catherine, yeah. Is it uh, Kellyanne? I don't know. It's not Kellyanne. Catherine Ann or something like that. I forgot her name. Oh man, that's the thing. And it is a very very very, she's originally from, not from United States. I mean, she speaks with an accent. I met her in Indianapolis. Her husband is like this. Once we were both standing outside in the cold, we were smoking. And this guy comes up saying, "Oh, he's the one you fucking now." And I was like, "Oh shit." I said, "No, no, no. I'm just smoking, man. You think you done about it." And she's like, "Just leave, So he was totally drunk. Even when he came like about 6 feet away from me, I can smell alcohol. That's what it does to people. When you go into your wife standing somewhere with a friend or a colleague, and if you are thinking that she's sleeping with him, you know if alcohol is making you think like that, then alcohol is the problem, you know not you. Because it's completely destroyed his brain. And I don't know where it all went from there. Many people. So that is one of the things I need to actually tell everyone. There are a lot of young people there. There are a lot of middle-aged people there. There are a lot of older people there. Everyone is there. So, guys, please drink responsibly. Okay, when you go for a party, or you go on a weekend outing with your friends. Oh, okay, have a couple of drinks. That's not a problem. That's not going to kick your ass. Otherwise, don't even drink beer. I mean, people just drink beer thinking, oh yeah, there is not much alcohol in it. Eighth beer, yeah, what the fuck, man. I have seen it. I have seen that happening, that drill happening many, many, many times. So be careful out there. So saying that, and let me go down into this thing. I think the blog was pretty much about Wuhan virus and other things. I call it Wuhan virus. There were a lot of problems. Because when Donald Trump, that's something which I agreed with Donald Trump. I said this is a Wuhan virus. This virus came from Wuhan, for whatever reason it is. It's not meant to actually attack. Chinese people or Asian people in general. It is not stereotyping them. The country of China is responsible for this thing, this outbreak. They're, whatever reason, they actually thought, instead of thinking they want to have a PR of, they are doing a great job, they are a great nation. Even great nations fail at times. When you act, and I told a couple of days back, there are two things. When you make that mistake or something happens, take responsibility of that and say, okay, I am responsible for this. People can say stupid things, use stupid things, all the things. But at the end of the day, when you say I'm responsible for this, New York governor, he says all the weirdest things in the world. But one thing he said I like. He said, anybody who is getting infected, anybody who is dying in this place, I am responsible for that. I take responsibility of that. What's happening? Somebody dying. I take responsibility of that because this is a state where I am the governor. I take responsibility. That's the one thing I liked about him. He says a lot of weird things. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I'm not going political into it. In the same way, Donald Trump actually came out and said, okay, this virus came from Wuhan. This is something connected to Wuhan, where he may have his own political agenda about it. But I agreed. I said, okay, yeah, I totally agree. And I told that on Facebook. It was a backlash. Some people were, unfriending and refriending and overfriending. All these things were going on there. But, I said, I don't care. I really don't care. I have this stance, I said, okay, the reality is this came from Wuhan, and we have to start naming it Wuhan virus instead of calling it Corona and, COVID and all those things. COVID is, what it stands for? There was a full form for it. COVID means, okay, Corona infection virus or coronavirus disease, that is COVID. Yeah. And 19 is because it came in 19. Coronavirus disease. So, COVID and Corona, this came from there. And we have to be very careful about the virus. Even today, I read about this. Somebody actually wrote in, I think, Associated Press, they had a report about this saying that the people who get infected by it, out of some kind of symptoms comes back and, then they fight that and, it's going on and on and on. Some people are they won't even get sick. because they are asymptomatic group of people. So be very careful. Whoever goes out there, people who don't have any symptom can easily transmit to others. So you may not even know that you have it, and but you will end up giving it to somebody else, and that person may have an underlying cause, or underlying problem, medical issue, which will this thing is going to aggravate, and you may die. So that's why I tell people, it's not because I am against I want all these things completely shut down forever, or even when I tell this BLM, Black Lives Matters people, I said there is a genuine reason for Black Lives Matters people to protest. That I agree, but do you want to do it right now? Why don't you wait for maybe another month or 2 months, and then organize it properly in such a way that the safety measures that need to be put in. And one person came back, and that pushback was really, it's not here, okay, in the other place. Their pushback was, okay, if viruses are going to get infected, then you know within this weekend we will see the numbers of infection going skyrocketing in the United States and even around the world. If that, I said, okay, yeah, let's see, if that's not happening, yeah, I said, okay, but you have the right to go and protest, that's true. But even for other people, if it is possible, don't go out, like in the same way alcohol. So that's what I was basically saying in that thing, sorry or please. Well, that's just me. I'm not that kind, say that's what I'm saying. Those folks think I'm going to budge, yeah. I got a lot of yelling from all corners of for calling it Wuhan virus, yeah. And I don't really say sorry, please. I think I mentioned this about a week back. I don't really often say, oh, thank you, or because I am modest. I am, very, very, very pleasing person. But I don't really go and say please. Why would I say please? Because when somebody is supposed to do something for me, they have to do that for me. When I'm supposed to do something, I'm not expecting anybody to say thank you or please or anything. I said, okay, do it, man. Take it, go, be you. But if necessary, I think I used the please. I know where I used to please multiple times was when I was talking to little boys. When I was saying, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down. I think I said that like about 5 or 6 times in that conversation. Why don't you please sit down so that we can talk? Ever watches this? I don't use the word please a lot. I very, very seldom say please, so not because I'm arrogant, not because I'm arrogant. I am modest, I'm a humble person. I will do all that, but unfortunately, this is not something that comes out of me automatically, when it is necessary, it will come. Now that comes to those who want to really don't want to hear it, maybe post it or something like that. Little boss. My sweet summer shine, do not try to resonate with the present, for in times and testing our patience. For in times and testing our patience, you can try break the ice and unleash the springtime between us. Well, only you can break that ice. Only you can. This is something which I want to say. I think I mentioned it even yesterday or day before yesterday. This ball is not with me. This ball is in your court. This ball is in her court. When that is there, then the man automatically become helpless, because anything I do, even if I see her in a by chance meeting, when I'm actually going to take a walk, or I go to a grocery store, just saw her there. This is not a pleasant situation for both of us. Immediately, she may think that I'm following her for some reason, or I will also be immediately not, I don't know whether I should even talk to her. I should even say hi to her and say, seeing the someone you really love and not saying even hello to that person and walking away is not a very pleasant experience. So, she will have to trigger something. She will have to do something. I am not moving away from you. I am not a person who do that. I am not moving away from you in the sense I think I made it very clear in many of my blogs too. This is for life. I'm in this for life. So understand that, accept it, and maybe not maybe, probably, and in every possible way, try to be reasonable to yourself. Now, this poem that is coming in, even the latest poem, there is that message very clearly in it. So maybe, maybe that's a good idea. Many of these people who are sitting here, you know, go and read it. Now, I'm not expecting, viewer count or anything, because I that site is owned by me. I want it. I'm not going to pay me any money when I'm getting a lot of views. Okay. So, but to really understand the situations, this is going to take a storyline on its own. When I'm there is a point at which I'm going to actually publish all these poems. When that happens, maybe I'll take some of these blogs and put it in, so that that is that idea that came to me, so that I can connect a set of poems to another set of poems and to another set of poems based on geographical change. There are not changes based on time changes or seasonal changes. How I shift through this. So that I can do. So that is an idea that is in my mind for a while now. So that, yeah, I will do that. Because there was a setup poem called She, and another setup poem which I'm working on. Which is 100 years of love. That is going on the other side. They are long, long poems. Which I that is coming out. Um, so she poems were 19 poems were there. Then the everything about the day, story of the day. Everything that is going on a day. But in that there are a lot of connections. So that set to another set to another set. How do I link? Take this block and then write some other poems, and add another set. How do I link? Take this block and then write some other poems and add it to it. We'll talk about totem time before we go into the poem. Totem time. So that's what I will. That's my game. This is my game. I'm not going to do anything. Others. Let's see. Let's see if the totem makes it. No, it doesn't have the momentum to go all the way, but it got a direction. Ah, well, we almost made it. So that's the last totem show you have. Through the winter cold, the wind wandered, the menace, the world shivering feared. Wild geese sat on frozen lakes and slept. The dried out branch gave up life and fell. Nothing human in nature made him stop. Under a dark hood, in white background he walked. The branch crushed under his feet. The geese looked. The wind, breathless upon the weeping willows sat. The blue jay scratched her beak on the bark and sang an old song, seeking ears and eyes far away. The hooded wanderer looked up and smiled, and to the bird in a subdued voice he spoke, to bring the doors of chaos and confusion to close. Look around, all around you will find fear from mind sprouting and slowly spread through dark and light. Fear of an elephant in a closed out cave, and everywhere you will feel the elephant, but you knew not the elephant was there. All through the pretenders of love and lovers of obligation took all your mind, and now alone you sit with nothing, be it in the stars of luck or time's magic run. The philosophy of relationships you must revisit. Let not the history of the parting and pain repeat. Be the one who spread love, not anxiety and fear. The bird looked in curiosity and raised her head, lurking to another branch, and started a new song about the scholar from past to present walk with love. Woo! There you go. That's the poem. That's the poem. I stretched it a bit. I thought I could have easily finished it in 30 minutes. But as people are increasing, as people are increasing in numbers, to watch the show, I love, I love the spotlight. Where is the spotlight? I have a spotlight though. See, that's my spot. I am in the sport. Look at me. See, I look red. So that's about it. I'm going to wrap the show here. And once more, everyone out there, be logical. When you do things, you see, there is an amount of responsibility you should take into your actions, and that's what you should learn from peers. You see, I learned from my peers. I'm not that old to actually come and teach you everything from scratch. But young folks, because most of the people are in their early 30s. So even though I may be 20 year older than you, or maybe not exactly 20, many are 32, 33. I'm only 50. So most of the people in their 30s, they ask me, you cannot give me an advice. See, I'm not trying to. I'm giving you a suggestion. Be reasonable. I mean, if there is, you see, you may be in a relationship, you may not be in a relationship. Even if you are in a relationship, you are in a serious relationship, you are in a tied up relationship, like you are married. Whichever is your situation, and there are issues, and in a relationship there will be issues. If you think everything can be eradicated before you get married or something like that, it just doesn't work. There is no, because every day is a new day, and there are two individuals that comes together to make this relationship happen. Scenario, if you are, I'm not going to, one of my friend actually told me that, that's, and I said, okay, don't say this. My, one of my friend, actually he's not directly my friend. He didn't study with me. He studied with my brother briefly, because but he came to our home, and he got married, and he said, no, we are not planning to get married. We are planning, and everything will be another 3 years. And my mother was alive at that time. That was a long time back. She said, do not say that. You don't know what you are going to get. Next month he came back and said, okay, yeah, all my plans are cancelled. She's pregnant. you know the same thing. You can plan a lot of things. That's true. You can look at the character of a person. That's true. But life goes through different cycles. And after each and every cycle, people change. People completely change. So this is where I say, if a person is a little older, you will understand. Even people in the early 30s, there is an evolutionary part change that is going to come to you. Your mindset, by the time you are reaching around 40, between the 40 and 45, there is a change. The same change that you have gone through when you are like between 25 and 30, there is a change that happened. Another change is going to happen when you are in their 40s. The next change which I have observed is much later. When everything is over, that people will lose, and I will tell you about that change very easily. People lose their interest in life altogether, because lot of their abilities started declining. Health decline, health because of other health problems. Then their faculties started declining because they cannot see properly. They cannot, with whatever means. Instead of adjusting to that, I'm not, blaming anybody, who are older, who are already living in that way. I'm not blaming them, or who lived in that way and passed away. I'm not. I have seen people, who are actually losing it. I used to plead to my mother saying that don't lose interest in life. She never lost interest in life. She always had that passion to live and go, and she traveled a lot too, in the same way. But she passed away in her sleep. So so that at 84, when everything else, she had seen her grandchildren, and great grandchildren, grandchild's grandchild's child, so she's seen that too. So I was like, yeah, but that change is down the road. See, as for people in their late 40s, early 50s or something like that, like me, for me, the next change is going to be maybe in another 25 years, when, if I'm not doing well, I will lose interest in all the things. That is a change, but that's an optional change. It doesn't happen to everyone. Some people maintain that thing all the way through the end. But the evolutionary change which I am talking about in the 40s is going to happen. So when that happens, you don't really leave your your lovers, or the people things you love. You start holding on to it. And when you there are things you may not be able to hold. Say for example, when you are in your 40s, your parents may be much older, and you may not be able to hold on to them. So that's one of the things that, there are certain things you may have to let go, or take your hands off. And then that I tell parents most of the time, because best parents are the ones who are actually trying to give on to their children. Even recently, I told my brother saying that, okay, you need to take your hands off your kid. Your son is 25 years old. You cannot actually go and try to control his life. No. So in the same way, you know, understand this. People go through these different changes. If you think that you are not going to change, that everything is going to be perfectly planned all through that your life, so you look at a person and say, oh yeah, I like this man, because he got this characteristics. 2 years there down, he may go through that cyclical change. And you wrong. If I am wrong, slap me on my face. The next time you guys see me, slap me on my face. I have no problem with that. Okay? I know I'm 100% right, because I have seen this happening right in front of me. I myself have gone through that change. When I changed, I actually changed the country. 28 year when I was 28, I was going through this incredible change, and I was like, okay, I'm out of here. This place, man. I'm going somewhere. I want to go to New Zealand, but I didn't qualify for it. If I did, I would have been, maybe dating Jacinda Ardern, the prime minister. She's a nice person, but she's dating somebody else now. But well, she's maybe a little too young for me. I don't know. No, she's not too young. She's like 38 or something like that. So yeah, that's not young. I have dated somebody older than me. Imagine that. Me dating somebody older than me, that was something uncalled for. I did that. You cannot say that. I didn't. So that is the poem. And there's in such a way that you only plan for maybe a week ahead. Do not plan it, in the rest of your life. I can say, okay, I'm with this guy, and this is going to what we are going to do in the next 5 years and 10 years. And because when I was in interviews, people will ask me, what is your career plan in the next 5 years? I was like, okay, I have a plan for like 3 years. Then I have to make up an answer and give it to them, even though I don't believe in that answers. I don't. So be careful about all that. When you plan ahead, and even if something is not really working, you may have to really, you know, uh, take it easy. You know, many issues comes from two things. One, stress. People stress and overstress and overstress. Two, alcoholism and or substance abuse. These things really kill the society. That's where we are now. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this. You all have a fantastic night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Probably I will read the poem, my new poem tomorrow. Let me see how the promotion